What is going on, guys? We're doing yet another live stream here. We're doing a quick one here. Today we're going to be talking about, unfortunately, it looks as though the Arcade1up Double Dragon. The Double Dragon sounds like it's not coming. We're going to talk about that right now. So we saw this video by Big Reese, and a lot of people were super excited that Arcade1up was going to come out with a Double Dragon. Now, Big Reese did reach out to me today. He wasn't able to put out a video. If you haven't checked out his channel is very good. The last few videos have been about theory videos. Based on leaks, he has access to information, someone in the space, and he has early access to some of the information that Arcade1up comes out with. And it looks as though what he wanted to let everyone know in the community is that the Double Dragon confirmed. It looks like it was something that Arcade1up planned on, and we just got information through Big Reese. He messaged me this morning that it looks like Arcade1up has canceled the Double Dragon project. We're going to talk a little bit about why it looks as though that Double Dragon was canceled. It looks as though, again, according to his source, it is related to iArcade. So iArcade came out with a new Double Dragon. It's available for pre-order. Now, they had a previous version, but with the iArcade, this is kind of their pro version. Now, all iArcades do have premium hardware. They got a 19-inch screen. This one's no different, but it has that light-up marquee, all right? So that light-up marquee kind of changes the game. And since Double Dragon is something that is completely licensed by iArcade, it's possible that Arcade1up decided to cancel the pro version or the more realistic version of the Double Dragon because iArcade did such a good job. They priced it at $7.99, and maybe they just couldn't figure out exactly how to market and place that, how to be different. That's the information that we're hearing from Big Reese. So sorry to disappoint you. If you are on the fence on whether or not to wait for the Arcade1up Double Dragon or just get the Double Dragon from iArcade, it's hard to say. Keep in mind, everything related to Arcade1up coming out with Double Dragon was speculation from the beginning. It's coming from leaks from retailers' information, and it could have been easily Double Dragon was something that they were putting out to retailers as a test to see if there's something they would bite, and maybe they didn't. We got Chucky in the chat here saying, no biggie, no biggie. Hey, Thomas, how's it going? Those of you that have joined into the live chat, really appreciate you coming to hang out. We got a couple more topics here that I want to run through real quick. So our first one is Double Dragon. We'll go back and talk about that. Give me your comments down in that live chat, what you think about Double Dragon. I have a couple more topics we're going to run through real quick, and we'll circle back. So check this out. If you take a look at some of the other things we talked about today, Countercade, Collectorcade, I'm sorry, I have another video on that. You can go check out my thoughts about the Mortal Kombat Collectorcade. I put that out today. It's a fun stream, but we now have more information. That's right, they have a Pac-Man Collectorcade, and there's yet another product that we're going to be talking about in this video. So first, we have the Pac-Man, and earlier we learned that these are going to have console versions of the games. I believe this is the reason why these Collectorcades are priced to get pretty low, right? Like $69 Euro. That may be with the VAX and, or VAT, 20% in, the little extra tax that they have in the UK. So we bring that to the US. Is that going to be priced at $50, $75, $99? We're not really sure, but it only has a 13.2 inch screen. These are totally, in my opinion, we cracked this open. It's going to have a Nintendo on a chip on it. If you're not familiar with that NOAC technology, it's basically hardware. There's no operating system on NOAC chips. These chips are not Linux. The chips are not ARM. They're not like a cell phone. They're not Android. They're not tablets. It's just pure hardware. And those Nintendo, they call them Nintendo on a chip, but they can actually run Sega as well. They can only go up to Sega. Typically you can't load arcade ROMs on these. And I believe that's just, there's all these dials in manufacturing that Arcade1up can use. They're not inventing anything. They're just taking things from off the shelf, putting them together and marketing it, right? The only thing they're really inventing is some of the designs, and putting it all together and manufacturing it, marketing it. And so I think these are going to have 16-bit version. That's basically it's the Sega Genesis port of the Pac-Man games. And at least this is not like a Do you guys remember the AtGames fiasco? If you don't know about that, there's this YouTuber named John Hancock. He makes great content, and he did a review of an AtGames product for Pac-Man, right? And when he reviewed, it had the arcade ROMs on it, but when it actually came out, it had like console versions, like an NES version of Pac-Man on it. And when people actually got it, there was like, is this some weird bait and switch? And it seems as though, at least with Arcade1up, nowhere in here are they saying it is the arcade ROM. What they're saying, I kind of wish they didn't bury it at the bottom, but at the very bottom, it's the 16-bit versions of your favorite arcade titles. Just expect this to be basically it's the Genesis. It's the Genesis version of it. And really, for this product, it's probably not that great. But honestly, if they come out with NBA Jam, like it's the NBA Jam Sega Genesis version, but it looks like an NBA Jam, that would be pretty cool. If they did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it looked like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it was only like $50, or I don't know, gets discounted at Black Friday for $30, I would totally pick it up in that scenario. Okay, so that's the Collectorcade. There's still another thing that's pretty exciting. Do you guys remember this Pong 2-player, $229? And I wasn't really interested in this. I think P-Dubs did a review on this, and it's pretty cool, but Pong is just not a game that I'm very excited about. Well, it looks like they're coming out with a head-to-head countercade. That's what they're calling this, the head-to-head countercade. It's basically this Pong countercade style, but with joysticks. And we're going to take a look real quick at what this is coming out. This is from that same website, the game.co.uk, that we're getting information from. They got the Mortal Kombat Collectorcade. They got the Pac-Man Collectorcade. And now it looks like they got the head-to-head countercade for $149 UK. I think the translation comes to about like what, $167? I don't know. Crumb says he owns that Pong. Let me know what you think of that Pong down in the chat. We'll report that in just a moment. So this one comes with 6 classic arcade titles, okay? This one, don't be confused. Don't be confused with these Collectorcades. This is going to have the arcade ROM on it, right? Because this particular device is going to be a system on a chip. It's going to run Linux. It's ARM-based. It's kind of like a little tiny phone inside there, essentially. A custom operating system from Arcade1up. It boots up. It's got the ROMs, the real arcade ROMs. But this is a head-to-head, you know? So this is going to be styled after like Galaga on one side and then Pac-Man on the other. They put the buttons on the one side, even the headphone jack. It's basically the countercade, but just flat. Like they took the countercade and made it flat. Now, this is really exciting because a while back we heard from John D wanting to make these countercade head-to-heads, right? And he was like playing with like a Street Fighter head-to-head. And I wonder if that eventually said, you know, what if we started looking into these head-to-head countercades and coming up with different variations? So here's my general sense. It kind of stinks that Double Dragon from Arcade1up isn't coming out, but that's okay. You can get the iArcade version. I trust Big Reese. I think his source is true, and it's supposed to be canceled globally. The Mortal Kombat version, I'm not really into this Collectorcade. I don't think many people are, but it's probably not made for us. Maybe it's a quick grab at Walmart. Maybe it'll be on sale for $25 or $50, or maybe you actually do want to put them on a shelf. I was kind of thinking it'd be better if they were called shelfcades, you know? Like, both they should put the project on the shelf and not do it. Okay, there's that. And then it's just to put on the shelf. It's for decoration. Don't actually think you're going to play these games. A friend comes over, you might play for 2 seconds. It's not practical. Like on this particular one, 13 inches tall, 4 AA batteries, I don't think it's practical to actually play this game. Some of those other quarter scales, smaller scales, they are also like, better replicas, the Replicades. Those look better, look more like the real arcade, but they cost a little bit more. But I think those are to put on the shelf as well. And then when someone comes over, you're like, wow, it actually has the real ROM on it. That's cool. All right. And then we got Pac-Man. Who cares? But this is actually interesting. If they start getting more games in these Pong styles, this is actually interesting. Out of everything that is coming out that has been leaked or announced recently, this is the only one that I'm actually interested in. I don't know if I'm interested in the Pac-Man Galaga title per se, but the head-to-head countercade is a new variant. It's like a cocktail, but more mobile, right? It's something that you can, you can just kind of put on your coffee table or whatever. Friends come over and you could actually play it. Well, I'm interested in seeing like how that would work. I got to look more into the Pong. I don't know what size screen it is. Is it 7 or 8 inches? Is that how they landed on it? Let's see. There's no information on it. I'll have to watch some of the reviews on it. I want to say it's like a 7-inch screen or something. I don't know. It's very practical, but anyway, that's the information. Love to hear what you think about it. If you're watching on the replay, comment down below. And now I'm going to take a few minutes to take a look at the chat and see what you guys had to say about the topics that are at hand. This is just a short stream real quick. Think of it as like my normal Sunday podcast that I have every Sunday that's an hour long, but we're just doing it for like 10 or 15 minutes. It's like a short version of it. So Curtis is saying, I mean, they still released, hopefully, a Dragon's Lair cab when II Arcade also released one. Not sure about this move. Yeah, maybe. But like a lot of people have requested that Dragon's Lair for a really long time, and I think maybe there's more appeal to that one. Maybe they were already along in that project. I wonder if Double Dragon wasn't actually like fully developed and maybe they canceled it now. And who knows, maybe. I do know that John D was doing research to try to figure out who Big Reese's leak is, and I remember him saying in one of the streams that he thinks he knows who it is. So I wonder if actually they are going to do Double Dragon. Here's a crazy conspiracy for you. But he purposely said the right things to the retailers or whatever to cause them to think that it's fully canceled, so that Big Reese would make a video, or I would make a video, or someone would make a video saying it's canceled, and then they'll surprise everyone with a Double Dragon. I don't know if that has value, if that's something they would actually want to do, but it makes me think, huh? So Thomas says, I think Arcade1up should stuck to their guns and pressed ahead with their variant of Double Dragon. That's the other thing, like with the iArcade version of Double Dragon, like it's going to have online play. And what's really cool about the online play that iArcade has announced is that I didn't know. They do have server and net play versions of it, and you get to choose. We don't know what the price is going to be, but it makes me excited because that net play, that's what Arcade1up does. And it basically does require an internet connection, but it's peer-to-peer. So the information between you're playing the game locally on your emulator, and so is your friend, but all the communication over the internet is just your controller commands and kind of information about where you're at currently in the game, and then it'll sync. That's a lot better, I think, than having a server and then it's basically streaming video to your console, kind of like how the AtGames Legends Ultimate does it. I never really liked that technology, but it's cool that iArcade's like, we can kind of do both. So we can just kind of figure out what's best for everybody, and you just pick what works the best, and we'll adapt accordingly. And maybe everyone's going to use NetPlay, and no one ever uses the server, and they'll just discontinue what no one else uses and stop supporting it. I don't know. It's just a thought idea. So Jaster says, those collector cases are garbage. Sound like the next giant Pac-Man stick. I hadn't thought about that Pac-Man stick in a while. That's a really good point there. Double Dragon sucks, no offense. I like the Pong countercade. I play Warlords on it. Crumb says he owns that Paperboy with the handlebars and put multiple writing games. There you go. I think a head-to-head countercade is a good idea. There we go. So we finally got some good ideas coming out from Arcade1up, according to some people. I kind of wanted the Pong, according to my family. James, he wants Robotron. I want the Pong as well. I wonder if a lot of people are waiting for the Pong to drop on price. I wonder if that $229 is just a little too much for it. Let's do that in the chat. Give me a number. At what price would you buy that Pong at? $229. Is that too rich for you? Is that what's going on? I want Renegade or a Multicade with Renegade RoboCop 1 and 2. I love it. He's talking about his review, his thoughts on the Pong. He says, I love it. It's great, but it's Pong. If you don't like Pong, you're probably not going to like it. There you go. But he says we need some more XL Pro lines. My family's like, we need to kit. We need to get Watchcade. Harold's pretty upset about Double Dragon not being a thing. Justin, you can watch P-Dub's impression. Yeah, I watched it before. I just couldn't remember the details about the screen size. Yeah, he did a pretty good live stream on that. Let's see, Double Dragon. Hit OK Console Fanboy with the jokes. I almost bought this, then I remembered I'm poor. There you go. It's pretty funny. Sony 4K, he says, why didn't Arcade use original art for the Dragon's Lair marquee? That's an interesting thing. I'm not really sure why. They kind of went with something different. Maybe coming up with their own design is something that they and Tato came up with that they thought they would do better, or maybe it costs. So here we go. $60, $99. These are what everyone's saying they would buy the Pong for. $179, $130. That's good information. I'll write that down because on my website, deals.consolekits.com, I have this new thing where on the website, let me check it out. On the website, I have these pinned deals. And in the back end, what I do is I set a price. And if those prices hit a certain mark, it pins it to the top. And you know it's pinned if you see this little blue outline. And then all the other deals are down here. So this is pinned because it's the lower price of the pinball machine. Terminator 2 is pinned because it's less than the retail price. This is the deal going on with HSN. It's pinned because the normal price is $449, but I said anything under, I think this one is pinned if it's under $300. Same with if it's under $300, it gets pinned. These are pinned because this one's pinned because it's brand new. And these are running a pretty good deal. The HSN, if you want to save another $50, if you do the friends and family discount, you can probably save $50 on that as well. So you can get that for even cheaper. But some people are saying only even $149 would be pretty good. Anyway, we're running out of time. My plan was just to do a quick stream. Thank you so much for coming and hang out for these quick reaction videos. I really appreciate the support that I get on these little tiny live stream content. If you keep coming, I'll keep doing them. All right, we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.